Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the YouTube broadcast, the IRS Radio Hour here on AM 560, The Answer. Every week we try to give you content-driven material. Make sure that you guys are... What's that? Because I'm trying to listen to it. But, don't worry. We follow your lead.
We have to do the show. So
That's right, we do. Yes.
Debbie can go home.
Yes.
We can go home.
Attorney Stephen Leahy.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
I like that. Boom.
That's good.
So remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, please comment. If you have any comments, you're watching and we're not answering the topics that you want to answer, please ask the question so that we can answer it for you, or we can save it for another episode. Am I not saying that correctly?
No, you are.
Because I'm thrown off here.
You're doing
Why are you
great.
thrown off? Because we started.
I was going to say they should tell a friend too.
Tell
a friend.
Tell a
tell
family
them about
member.
the IRS Radio Hour.
Mm-hmm. And today, especially because it's Memorial Day edition of the IRS Radio Hour.
Maybe you'll be at a barbecue. Maybe you'll be at
on Sunday.
a get together, and
Yeah. Used to do my hot dog stand. I wanted to do it again this year on Memorial Day, but they moved Vienna beef down to the south side, and it makes it really hard to go down there and get the hot dogs.
So let's go get
And
it.
I tried to call them. I'll go.
I'll go with you.
I tried to call them and have them maybe make it. They're up in my neighborhood. Throw it on the truck. We have hot dog stands by me. You drive right by my house.
Why don't you go up to...
But they won't do it. They won't drop it off. So they make me drive all the way. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the delivery charge. Get my wife to go down there though, because it's really because she's the one that usually drives. Again, when it's on the north side, it was one thing, but when it's over there by Kaminsky Park.
Blah.
I know. That's my wife said it's dangerous over there. It's not that dangerous. It is back of the yards, as they call it. I haven't been over there yet though. So, but you think that they would be so simple? Throw it on the truck and send it to me.
It's not that simple because
I got
you can't
the
just do that.
I got the Joe Walsh thing coming, and so I have some.
will you have your hot dog stand there?
I will have my hot dog at the hot dog stand at the Joe Walsh event. Yes, it's going to be fun. This will be my third year. This year, I bet you now people know I'm there. First couple of years, because I'm not really by the food, so a lot of people didn't. He's got in his barn. He's got all the food, but I'm not in the barn because I don't want to just stand in the barn. I'm out by the. I have my own table with a tent up, with the hot dog stand. So get out of if you're going to Joe Walsh's thing, get out of the barn and just walk right there. I'm right there by the stage. Okay, so that's where I was last couple of years.
That was a great bash.
That's because of him and his steamed hot dogs.
Yeah, they
those
were
are
a
deadly,
hit.
aren't they? The steamed dogs.
That was Joe Walsh. That's good.
when he was on your show.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so now he's too big for my show. Now he's got a show on Newsmax. A video show, a television show. I haven't seen it yet though. Okay, let's do the show.
Let's do it.
Let's do the show.
Pursuant to Internal Revenue Service guidance, be advised that any federal tax advice contained in this program is not intended to be used, and it cannot be used by any person or entity for the purpose of avoiding any tax penalties that may be imposed by the Internal Revenue Service or any other U.S. federal taxing authority or agency, or promoting, marketing, or recommending to another party any transaction or matter addressed in this show. The opinions expressed by the host and the guests are their own and may not be used as authoritative advice. Any use of this material without the written consent of the host is strictly prohibited.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy, on AM 560, The Answer. Tune in every week at 5 for an informative discussion about IRS obligations, credit card debt, mortgage default, collection activity, and how to resolve these legal issues using tax resolution, debt settlement, mortgage loan modification, foreclosure defense, and bankruptcy. Your host is Stephen Leahy, and the principal at Open Tax Resolutions and the law office of Stephen Leahy, PC. Stephen is the author of Deal with Your IRS Problems Today. IRS and debt issues are serious, but there is help. There are resolutions. So get ready and take notes. during the IRS Radio Hour. And now, here's your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy.
It is Memorial Day weekend, and we're remembering those who have fallen. Welcome to the IRS Radio Hour. We are coming to you from Studio C at AM 560, The Answer.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
A little bit off, different than
You're
I usually
off.
do. The show's sponsored by the law office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC, and OPM Tax Resolutions.
God bless you, OPM Tax Resolution.
OPM helps people solve IRS problems. We help people with audits and levies, liens and garnishments, collections, unfiled tax returns, and payroll tax issues. We also help people with mortgage foreclosures, loan modifications, bankruptcy, and other debt-related issues. So if you have any of these problems, or if you know someone who does, you should give us a call at 312-664-6649. Again, that number's 312-664-6649, or go to the IRSradiohour.com. I do have that.
Chicago Tax Team.
Team.com. I do have IRSradiohour.com too, but ChicagoTaxTeam.com. That's going to be your hub, right, Jim?
That's right.
And I want to introduce our technical producer, Deborah Schreiner.
Hey guys, good to see you both.
Great to see you too, Deborah. Happy Memorial Day.
Do you
Happy
say,
Memorial Day
every
weekend.
Year, every year we always say that. Do you say Happy Memorial Day? I don't know. Because it's kind of a somber.
You know what? And we'll get into this.
I also want to introduce my nephew, my co-host, my realtor, my very good friend, Jim Leahy.
Hey, I want to dance with somebody. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Because there ain't no doubt I love this land. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning to the IRS Radio Hour here on AM 560.
The Answer.
That's right, I am the show's realtor. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Northeastern Illinois, give me a call, Jim Leahy with @Properties, 847-271-3695. Also, remember, OPM Tax Resolution is there for you, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. We hope you're enjoying this Memorial Day weekend. So it's not going to be entirely content-driven this week, because we're going to be talking about those who have fallen.
That's right. It's
about remembering. It's about sitting back. And that's why it's when people say Happy Memorial Day, because we want people to have a good time, be with your families.
We do.
But people,
they
don't
remember.
realize.
We always have to, and I think it was a big thing. My brother was a big one on trying to pass on to our younger generation what the day's about, and not just a celebration of hot dogs and hamburgers, spaghetti and meatballs.
So one thing people could do with their family is to look up some of these Medal of Honor stories, right?
And that's what we're doing.
Read them to their kids.
Yes. And that's what we're going to do a little bit about that today. You know what else is another great thing to do? And this is go to a cemetery on Saturday where they put the flags up in front of those who have served. We do that every Saturday. It was Saturday before Memorial Day. It was a tradition my brother started. My brother was
I think it's very important to do. As selfish as I am, because you go throughout life and you start realizing, I remember being, a couple of years ago, when I'm still in my teenagers, still coming out of that too, early 20s, and they're like, I'd be back from school, from college, and be like, Jim, come on, let's do it. And be like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm sleeping. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. Why? You know what? Those guys,
I just say you can't get up. That's like the same thing when I tell my kids about going to church. You can't get out of bed to go to church. Get out of bed.
Well,
but I get that. I asked Joey, my son Joe, so you're going to join me at what time? What time is that, Dad? That's the first thing. 8 o'clock in the morning. He said, I want to do it. I want to help you, but I know it's going to be hard for me to get out of bed. And I'm not going to force him to do it. I don't want to beat him. Well, I do want to beat him, but I won't. So anyway, did you have something that you wanted to
No, I didn't want to do. I think that we should do a reading from one of the Medal of Honor recipients.
Well, that's what I asked. Do you have one ready?
Yes, I do.
Well, go ahead.
My dad.
Oh, you want to do the?
Jeez,
okay.
are you like, hey, it's not. It's
Well,
Friday.
I thought we were
right?
gonna do
It's
that.
not. It's not Sunday.
Well, let's
yet.
do that then.
Yes, this is a Medal of Honor winner from the World War II, since this is our greatest generation, and we're losing lots of them every week. So his name would be Louis Kenneth Bossell. His citation is for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving in 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division, during action against the enemy Japanese forces in Peleliu Island. The Apollo Group, 15 September 1944. Valiantly placing himself at the head of his squad, Corporal Bossell led the charge forward against a hostile pillbox, which was covering the vital sector of the beach, and, as the first to reach the emplacement, immediately started firing his automatic into the aperture, while the remainder of his men closed in on the enemy. Swift to act as a Japanese grenade was hurled into their midst, Corporal Bossell threw himself on the deadly weapon, taking the full blast of the explosion, sacrificing his own life to save his men. Excuse me. His unwavering loyalty and inspiring courage reflect the highest credit upon Corporal Bossell and the U.S. Naval Service, United States Marine Corps. He gallantly gave his life for his country. Lest we forget.
Let us not forget.
That is not the only story we're going to be telling today.
No, I think we
each segment
we should do one at least.
We're going to maybe not during the middle segment because it's such a small. We have 6 minutes, and to really get through and let it hit home. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's about. Go look up.
But still,
here, how about this? Go to the medalofhonor.com. Type in one word, themedalofhonor.com, and you're going to be able to go and take a look at all the Medal of Honor recipients. And take a time just to read a couple, one or two. That's it, one or two.
It's such a
it's
such a small group club, if you want to call it, of men. They all know, those that are alive. They know each other. So when someone tries to pass themselves off as a Medal of Honor winner, and it happens, right? So it's happened where a guy in Congress had tried to pass himself off as a Medal of Honor winner, and I think there's nothing so lowly as that.
Stolen valor is
yes, nothing so lowly as
people
that.
Who steal valor is ridiculous.
I agree with that. And these men have done incredible things. And they say, well, what about the women? I'm sure the women have Medal of Honors too.
They do.
Well, maybe we'll look one up to include that. Only because it's really about human frailty and human courage.
And sacrifice.
Human endearment.
Oh, it's amazing.
Because it's amazing you're in this
what
situation.
You're capable of. We talked a little bit about this before. What you're capable of is far more than you believe when you're put into a position. Now we all wish that we're not put in that position to find out what kind of metal we have, what we're made of. But there are those who are put in this position through no. I'm sure they didn't elect it, although people did volunteer. But they perform, and it's an amazing thing. It's something that we should never forget, and we should hold these individuals up for honor and as examples to all of us about how we should live our lives and be prepared. But be prepared for what might happen. It may not happen, but you have to be prepared for it. What was that? Was it Les Brown who said, "I'd rather be prepared and not have the opportunity than have the opportunity and not be prepared." So, Well,
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show lined up for you today. This is Memorial Day, and it is mainly a show of reflection for those who have passed. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying sitting out, enjoying the weather. I know I'm working. I know that you're enjoying the weather.
I'm eating a hot dog.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, Open Tax Resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 and visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We don't have an entirely content-driven show for you today, but we are going to be talking about those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country, and those are going to be the Medal of Honor recipients. So we have a chance to sit back, reflect, and understand what Memorial Day is about. Here on AM 560, The Answer.
I didn't want to say that. I don't know if that's true. We'll figure that
I
out.
wish you wouldn't have brought that up personally, but
Well, I didn't
It
want.
is what it is.
I was talking about men, and then
You
we,
cannot. You can.
You
I
reminded
mean,
me of this.
You don't. You can move on.
that's what I'm.
I get it.
That's what we're doing.
Don't mention that no women have it.
Yeah, you really are just not picking up on things recently.
How is that not picking up on things?
Because we're live.
I understand.
Okay. I'm in no way, shape, or
And you don't win a Medal of Honor, right?
You're
awarded
awarded
the Medal of Honor. Yes. You're awarded the Medal of Honor. And then a lot of those guys who have the Medal of Honor say that it's not
I'm trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. I would kill for that.
I think then you wouldn't get it.
That's Ted Baxter.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the
only one woman has received a Medal of Honor, and her award was temporarily rescinded. A medical doctor who supported feminist and abolitionist causes. Mary Edwards Walker volunteered with the Union Army at the outbreak of the Civil War.
Did she really?
That's what it says here. 6 surprising facts. So shouldn't we honor Mary Walker?
We should honor all those who have lost their lives in battle.
Wow.
I'm trying to look up the most recent. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do today.
There was a recent guy.
Yeah,
yes, we are going to read about Britt Slabinsky.
Yeah.
He was U.S. Navy Chief Petty Officer of the U.S. Navy. He is part of the Navy SEALs. And we're going to, please forgive me because there are some words that I do have trouble pronouncing.
Which ones?
Serendipity.
You just said it very well.
Intrepidity.
Intrepidity. Intrepidus.
Intrepidity. For
Intrepidity.
courageous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life. So I do apologize for that, but we're going to do the best we can.
You got it.
I think that it's very important, again, that this show is revolved around those that have. It's not just the Medal of Honor recipients, but the Medal of Honor recipients are those that that are, again, going above and beyond the call of duty, but they say they do no different than the real medal. You go look at any of the Medal of Honor videos, they say those are the guys who deserve the Medal of Honor are those who have died.
So it was rescinded in 1917, 2 years before she died, and then it wasn't reinstated until 1977 when Jimmy Carter did it. Reinstated the Medal of Honor.
These guys are unbelievable. This website is so cool.
Isn't it? And this is why I'm going to push it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, go to the congressional. You just go to the
medalofhonor.com.
Go to the medalofhonor.com.
And then click on Medal of Honor recipients.
It's an amazing thing. I think it's time to jump right into the next segment, which is going to be the blog segment. What are we talking about today? Just the Medal of Honor, or just the?
Well, yeah, I think I had some, but
talk about Memorial Day.
Well, what else can we talk about?
Listen to this. Listen to this. Benny Adkins. During the 38-hour battle and 48 hours of escape and evasion, fighting with mortars, machine guns, recoilless rifles, small arms, and hand grenades, it was estimated that Sergeant First Class Adkins killed between 135 and 175 of the enemy while sustaining 18 different wounds to his body.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's amazing. And it keeps going. You know, it's like, what was the guy from World War II? Audrey, what was his name? Oh, how can I not?
Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy. That's his
sister.
Sister.
As in, you know, whatever.
I got an update on my phone that Attorney Stephen A. Leahy is live.
He is
live. Remember,
live.
ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions that you'd like to have asked, please feel free to put it on this live chat. We're going to be able to look at it real time, answer for you, the listener.
You have somebody that you want to talk about on Memorial or want us to talk about, put it in.
If you have a conflict that we want to talk about, a situation that comes up that we want to talk about.
So
we will do that.
Only one woman has got the Medal of Honor. That's kind of an interesting fact. Wish I had. They didn't tell me the story though about how she.
The story?
No, I'm trying to find the story because I'm sure it's a great story.
Civil War stories are insane.
I agree. You know, it's amazing when things are happening like the Iraq War or something, and you kind of look at, or even Afghanistan, now. And you think about, oh, that's just so distant. But there's men doing unbelievably brave things today, right now.
And we're going to be talking about one of those men who just recently won the Medal of Honor.
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that from Trump?
Yes.
So what should I talk about in the blog segment?
Whatever you want.
It's my show.
What about you talk about our history of going and putting out the flags, and also too what we do as a tradition, and have the hot dog stand out and really try to make it a community event, because there's nothing more important than being a part of a community, being part of your neighborhood, being part of your community.
You're getting old, Jim.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes, I am.
Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Lest we forget.
And that's a Marine Corps hymn, and we're going to be playing each hymn of each branch of the military for this show, just to honor Memorial Day. Again, you're going to be sitting around the radio with your families, enjoying the company of your friends, relatives, neighbors, and this is what this is about.
And if there's a World War II veteran around, maybe you should invite him over. Talk to him.
They're declining.
They're few and far between these days, and many are home alone. Don't have a family because they've outlived them, and so we should.
It's amazing with these World War II guys. I see it with the younger gen. Me, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm cut from a different cloth, but I've always had that fascination as a kid of World War II, and just and tried to read a lot about it, and tried to talk to a lot of World War II veterans about their experiences. And I just see more and more kids nowadays that are a little bit younger. I don't see the same.
Well, I agree with that. But let me do this, Deborah. Let's do the. Okay. I like to do the blog segment just because I like to hear the music.
Oh yeah, it's the blog segment. The blog.
It's kind of a throwback, reminisce of times past, as Memorial Day is wanted to do, to give us this remembering. But let's still remember and never forget that there's men out there today, men and women out there today, who are doing valiant acts, who deserve our respect,
exactly,
and recognition. Because a lot of this is right. It's in. You don't hear about it. We don't. In World War II, the battles were in a newspaper, and they talked about it. And they told us what was going on. When's the last time you heard about a battle in Afghanistan? You don't really hear about it, but they're there. They're doing it.
Yeah, but they're I don't know.
They're
I'm not gonna
fighting.
Speak for that. I'm not going to speak for on that because it's mainly just small skirmishes and pockets of insurgency. So I mean, it's I don't necessarily know. This is my ignorance, but I necessarily don't know how intense it is today in 2018. I don't know that. I don't know the scale of
men are dying, and it's happening every day. So the latest
Medal of Honor recipient
was yesterday.
That's right, Britt Slabinski, and he's Chief Petty Officer of the U.S. Navy. He is a Navy SEAL for conspicuous.
Well, are you reading the
for conspicuous gallantry and intrepid? How do you say that, Deborah? Intrepid. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm butchering it.
Intrepidity.
At the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while assigned to a joint task force in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. In the early morning of March 4th, 2002, Senior Chief Special Warfare Operator Slabinski led a reconnaissance team to its assigned area atop a 10,000-foot snow-covered mountain. Their insertion helicopter was suddenly riddled with rocket-propelled grenades and small arms fired from previously undetected enemy positions. The crippled helicopter lured violently and ejected one teammate on the mountain before the pilots were forced to crash land in the valley below. Senior Chief Slabinski boldly rallied his 5 remaining team members and marshaled supporting assets for an assault to rescue their stranded teammate. During reinsertion, the team came under fire from 3 directions, and one teammate started moving uphill toward an enemy strongpoint. Without regard for his own safety, Senior Chief Slabinski charged directly towards enemy fire to join his teammate. Together, they fearlessly assaulted and cleared the first bunker they encountered. The enemy then unleashed a hail of machine gun fire from a second hardened position only 20 meters away. Senior Chief Slabinski repeatedly exposed himself to deadly fire to personally engage the second enemy bunker and orient his team's fire in the furious close-quarters firefight. Proximity made air support impossible, and after several teammates became casualties, the situation became untenable. Senior Chief Slabinski maneuvered his team to a more defensible position, directed airstrikes in very close proximity to his team's position, and requested reinforcements. As daylight approached, accurate enemy mortar fire forced the team further down the sheer mountainside. Senior Chief Slabinski carried a seriously wounded teammate through deep snow and led a difficult trek across precipitous terrain while calling in fire on the enemy, which was engaging the team from the surrounding ridges. Throughout the next 14 hours, Senior Chief Slabinski stabilized the casualties and continued the fight against the enemy until the hill was secured and his team was extracted. By his undaunted courage, bold initiative, leadership, and devotion to duty, Senior Chief Slabinski reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Right there, that was, again, it's a mouthful, but...
That was 16 years ago, 16 years, 2 months ago. That he was of this act that he was recognized yesterday for.
We recognize this act, but imagine those members. And there are veterans that are listening to this show today, and God bless them. That I know that they carry a heavy heart and a heavy mind. I can only imagine with these Medal of Honor recipients, those that had survived. Mm-hmm. What they carried.
Too many of them are posthumously, right? They're awarded posthumously, and here this gentleman was there, so he lived through it, and
it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
So, this guy, he's everything that it means to be an American soldier.
That's why today I'm not going to talk about tax problems because there are bigger problems out there.
We'll come back to that.
Well, we will next week.
We'll come back to that next week. It's going to be content driven next week. Remember, open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. Go to YouTube. Watch previous videos. I wanted to let you know that's where you can get that.
And if you have a question,
content.
It's probably addressed in one of the videos, so you can go to YouTube and watch the video.
You know what, too? We do a live broadcast of this show because we record Friday show or Sunday. And we do a live broadcast every Friday around 2 o'clock, 2:30. So subscribe to Stephen A. Leahy's channel. You can find him on his Facebook because he's going to have a link to his YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Subscribe, and you can ask questions as they hit real time. Now, going on yesterday, we went to the Dennis Savard event. I know we're changing it up a little bit, and I just wanted, because I want people to realize that this is what Memorial Day is about, but
Dennis
being
savoir-faire.
Being Memorial Day, I wanted to, lighten it up a little bit because everybody's with their families. So we talked about the Half Day Brewing Company's event with Dennis Savard. What a great event. I worked at. Attorney Stephen Leahy was there, got an autograph.
Drank old style, got an autograph. Had the wings.
I mean, we had
the hot, what are they called, Jim? The hot chick. They were
the buffalo wings.
The buffalo wings with.
I
love that blue cheese dressing.
We got to talk to great guys that are there that had stuff set up like Melissa Sports and Charms, and you can meet your favorite pro athletes. It's csac.biz.
Oh, very good. I didn't know you got her cards.
It's wonderful event that we had a chance to sit and talk with them, and what a great event. So we'll be telling you about more great events too, because AM 560 has wonderful events as well, such as the Joe Walsh event,
which is coming.
Can you give
up.
us a little information about that?
I can give you very little because I'm not sure. I think it's January.
January. Yeah, that's it.
June 23rd. Saturday.
Book now.
Saturday, June 23rd. He's gonna have his annual picnic out at his farm. What's it called? A farm at the barn.
I'll give it barn.
He says last year there was 2,000 people there. This will be my third year where I'm going to where OPM Tax Resolutions and the law office of Stephen A. Leahy will be giving away hot dogs. The best Chicago hot dogs you'll ever have, in my humble opinion, because they are authentic Vienna beef hot dogs with all the Chicago works,
with all the fixins,
all of them, and in just the right proportions, because that's really what it's about, Jim, proportion. And so I invite you all to come out, have a hot dog. A lot of former clients are going to be there. Friends of ours, a lot of our friends are going to be there. Some of the people that were at that went away with us on the trip to Mexico, going to be out there. So you too can join us out there. It's a great day.
And
family day. It's a family day.
And be in
great fireworks.
Be a part of other great AM 560 events. We will be giving you more information as they become available. But remember, Open Tax Resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 to visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. We hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful Memorial Day weekend on Sunday. Beautiful weather. I hope it's not raining because we've always made predictions. But we hope you're enjoying the weather. We hope you're enjoying the family. We hope you're enjoying the barbecues because I know that I'm working and not enjoying anything. So we hope you all are having a good time. Remember, come back on AM 560, The Answer.
I just want the music. So what are you going to do then? We're going to talk about Trump? For Trump, you want to do a Trump segment?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's
Or do you want to read some more?
You got one that you can read?
I mean, I have them all.
I could talk about Mary Edwards. What do they write about Mary Edwards? Read that because I'd like to see.
I'll go look them up right now.
No, it's a her, Mary Edwards.
I said I'll go look.
Walker. Mary Edwards Walker is her name. She was a doctor. They got a picture of her. She looks like a man. She got arrested for impersonating a man. She did. It's a fact. She did, because she was wearing men's clothes, and back then they were illegal for women to wear. Think about that. Think about that. They had laws about what you could wear and what you can't wear. This is the land of freedom, but they wouldn't let you wear some. Women can't wear trousers. That's too manlike. Doesn't make sense.
I'm looking for
what they do to a man that was dressed as a woman. They throw him in jail too. That's the way it was. I didn't make the rules. I helped break the rules. I actually do that. Help break the rules. Did that, I should say. I don't break the rules too much anymore. Unless it's the rules of the IRS, then I can break their rules. What's up, Jim? You don't like what I'm saying?
I'm trying to find this.
M.
Actually, I think it would be a W. Walker.
Oh.
What's her name?
Mary Edwards Walker. The only woman to be awarded a Medal of Honor. And women will say, feminists would say, well, they they only have one because they didn't give them an opportunity. And men would say, we didn't want to give them an opportunity. What's wrong? I shouldn't be. What's wrong?
Can you please?
What?
Let's get back on the track and give people great content-driven material.
I thought I was.
Do you have anything to say about your new position that you updated?
On my LinkedIn page?
Yes.
We've talked about that on this. Actually, right after I did it, I was here. Remember, I did a CLE. So now I am on the faculty of Apex CLE.com. So I'm a faculty
There's a
member.
lot of Medal of Honor recipients in the Civil War. I am really trying to find her.
They don't have
it is bad.
You-
There's
they have a name.
17
Don't they have a
page-
name search?
What about under E?
Don't they have a name search?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really going in there. Okay.
See, in 1870, Dr. Walker was arrested in New Orleans and mocked by men because she was dressed as a man. The arresting officer, Mulleray,
Holy
twisted her arm and asked her if she had ever had. No.
John Yonkers, recipient of the Medal of Honor in Civil War.
Wow. We know our neighbor's John
Yeah,
Yonkers.
that's why it's wild.
They don't know that. I'm telling
I know,
them that.
I know. That's why I just looked and said that's what. Wow,
That's your neighbor's ancestor?
I don't know.
I don't know. What's her name?
Mary Edwards Walker.
There is 175 pages of Medal of Honor recipients from the Civil War. That is
Crazy. From both sides or just our side? What is our side?
United States.
Well,
Union. They were not United States at the time.
I know that. We thought they were. That's what we thought
That
about.
was the fight.
She was captured by the Confederate troops and arrested as a spy just after she finished helping a Confederate doctor perform an amputation. She was sent to Castle Thunder in Richmond, Virginia, and remained there until August 12th, 1864, when she was released as a prisoner exchange. While she was imprisoned, she refused to wear the clothes provided to her, said it to be more becoming of her sex. Walker was exchanged for a Confederate surgeon from Tennessee on August 12, 1864. She went on to serve as a supervisor of the female prison in Louisville, Kentucky, and as the head of the orphanage in Tennessee. Well, what did she do to get the Medal of Honor?
This is what I'm reading right here. We'll read it on the show.
Well, what is it? Did she kill anybody?
Whereas it appears as official reports that Dr. Mary Walker, a graduate of medicine, has rendered valuable service to the government, and her efforts have been earnest and untiring in a variety of ways, and that she was assigned to duty and served as an assistant surgeon in charge of female prisoners in Louisville, Kentucky, upon the recommendation of Major General Sherman and Thomas. Faithfully served as a contract surgeon in the service of the United States, and has devoted herself with much patriotic zeal to the sick and wounded soldiers, both in the field and the hospitals, to the detriment of her own health, and has also endured hardships as a prisoner of war for 4 months in a southern prison while acting as a contracted surgeon still. And whereas by reason of her not being a commissioned officer in the military service, a brevet of honorary rank cannot, under existing laws, be conferred upon her, and whereas in the opinion of the President, an honorable recognition of her services and suffering should be made, it is ordered that a testimonial thereof shall be hereby made and given to the said Dr. Mary E. Walker, that the unusual Medal of Honor for meritorious service be given her. Given under my hand in the city of Washington, D.C. on this 11th day of November, AD 1865, Andrew Johnson.
Wow.
So you have to how many of those Medal of Honor recipients were surgeons? Because Civil War surgery was a barbaric and brutal struggle.
Yes.
It's not like, it's not modern day.
I get it.
Any surgeon, but I mean that war was the start of modern warfare as we know. It ended the line warfare that we saw, the Napoleonic style of warfare, and just the mass amount of casualties. It opened up a whole new level whole new levels of conflict.
But also in the Revolutionary War, we did a lot of that because we didn't fight them like they wanted to fight us.
All set?
Yes.
So you're doing a Trump segment here?
We'll do a Trump segment.
But you're going to read...
We'll probably read something like this. How long will that take you, Jim?
Not very long.
Okay.
If I can say it.
But we want to talk about. We'll talk about Trump, and we'll talk about Korea.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560, The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Is that that's the Air Force, am I correct?
The Air Force.
Isn't it amazing? 100 and what, 20 years ago, the idea of flight was still just, what?
I know. It's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning back into the IRS Radio Hour on this Memorial Day weekend. We hope you're enjoying with your families. This is a show of remembrance. We want you folks out there to understand the sacrifices and struggles. I'm not saying that you don't already, but it's nice to reflect. It's nice to listen to the show and reflect.
And it adds to our patriotism when we recognize those who have given so much to our country.
It humbles you in a way because you go, wow, how just amazing men and women, as I'm just about to say, who fight for our country each day and who are. It's unbelievable. And we are going to read actually right here.
It is kind of a surprise. It was a surprise to me, that because I said men and women, and I assumed that there was women got
there were no women Medal of Honor.
I know they haven't been fighting in on the front lines. And either there is one Medal of Honor winner who is a woman. So
that's right.
Talk
and
about
her
that,
name
too.
is Mary Walker from the U.S. Army, but she was a surgeon. 1861, she won it. She was
awarded.
She was awarded. I'm sorry, I apologize. That's right. I'm trying to.
Through Andrew Johnson.
Whereas it appears from official reports that Dr. Mary E. Walker, a graduate of medicine, has rendered valuable service to the government, and her efforts have been earnest and untiring in a variety of ways, and that she was assigned to duty and served as an assistant surgeon in charge of female prisoners at Louisville, Kentucky, upon the recommendation of Major General Sherman and Thomas, and faithfully served as a contract surgeon to serve the United States, and has devoted herself with much patriotic zeal to the sick and wounded soldiers, both in the field and hospitals, to the detriment of her own health, and has also endured hardships as a prisoner of war for 4 months in a southern prison, while acting as a contracted surgeon. And whereas by reason of her not being a commissioned officer in the military service, a brevet of honorary rank cannot, under existing laws, be conferred upon her, and whereas in the opinion of the President an honorable recognition of her services and suffering should be made, it is ordered that a testimonial thereof shall be hereby made and given to the said Dr. Mary E. Walker, that her unusual Medal of Honor for meritorious services be given her, given under my hand in the city of Washington, D.C. on this 11th day of November, 1865 by Andrew Johnson. I didn't need to go over that word.
So
sometimes,
2 years before she passed,
I missed that word in class.
In 1917, they rescinded it, her Medal of Honor, because she was not an officer in the military, not even in the military. And so they rescinded many in 1917 of those who had been who had been awarded the award. And then in 1977, Jimmy Carter reinstated it. So she's technically she's reinstated.
That's a great piece of history and a great knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that there was a female who won the Medal of Honor.
Yes,
and it is true that there were, because the female the efforts by women in the Civil War were just so incredible.
And I think in World War II also.
I understand, but but since we're on the Civil War,
I agree.
Being a surgeon back then is just so barbaric. It was so barbaric because you just are literally just chopping off limbs, bringing the next gun, pop.
And that's what.
I don't mean to get so graphic, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. True. But we have to kind of reflect and go, wow, the Civil War really was not fought that long ago. That's only 180 years, maybe tops 180 years. I'm just trying to think.
Even on the battleground today, right? The biggest thing is getting them off out of the
line of fire
and get them back to,
so that they could survive.
Because back then you couldn't get them back anywhere. How are you going to get them there? Can't get them to the surgeons, which kind of flashes back to Korea right? Because MASH. and
Imagine
that's-
being those guys in Fredericksburg, the Irish versus the Irish, and the Confederates fire down on the Union lines, creating just mass casualties. And it found out that it's Irish guys against Irish guys, and those Southern Confederates are just killing their own. Before that they were.
Wow. That's kind of amazing.
It's
it was brother versus brother. That's the whole Civil War thing. So
it's unbelievable. Lest we forget.
Yes, I agree.
Lest we forget, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're enjoying this Memorial Day
Have a
Sunday.
hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy. It's really just about a day of remembrance. This is why we're doing this show, so that we could bring that kind of remembrance to you guys. So if you're driving in the car, sitting with the family. Well, whatever you're doing, just maybe listen to a story or two and reflect. Please go to themedalofhonor.com. Read a couple of other stories. It's a great tool because it helps you reflect. And you know what else is a great tool? Open Tax Resolutions, 312-664-6649. And visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your help to fight the IRS.
It's going to be your help.
Did I say tool?
No, your hub. That's
good. You're up to fight the IRS. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying this wonderful Sunday. Remember, come on back at commercial break because more IRS radio hours coming your way here on AM 560.
The Answer. Just tried to fit it in there, Jim.
I know. I thought I said it wrong because I said tool a lot, and I'm like,
okay. I keep reading about how stupid Trump is, and why do I keep thinking he's a genius?
Because you love him.
The diplomacy's not negotiation.
Yeah, it is.
That's all it is.
What gave Obama any special tools? See what I did there? For diplomacy, none.
We read a U.S. Army Medal of Honor recipient. We read a Navy SEAL recipient.
Yes, and
Marine Corps. So let's do the Air Force.
Okay. Or Coast Guard.
I will read the Coast Guard to wrap it up.
Okay. But this is the third segment, is it not?
I don't know if I have the music for the Coast Guard.
That's okay.
That's all right. But this is, we're doing the third segment, right?
Yes.
Fourth.
Are we on the fourth segment already?
Yeah.
So that was the Trump segment. We didn't do the Trump segment.
I knew you weren't going to get to it.
I knew you. Okay. That's what I was kind of. That's what lost me on that.
Here, I do have the Coast Guard. I'll play it at the end of this segment.
Okay.
Should I read the Coast Guard then for this segment?
Yes.
And then we'll do the Air Force to finish it up?
Yeah.
Well, but I was going to play.
What are you going to play to go in?
I haven't played Navy yet. So.
Play.
Oh, you want me to play Navy at the end of the segment? I'll play Coast Guard to start it.
Which one do you want?
Because we were off on the.
What were we off on?
Because I read the. So it was Marine Corps.
I played Marines on segment 2, and I played Air Force segment 3.
I think I do Navy.
Doesn't matter if it matches up with your
I
stories.
understand. It would have been we'll do the Navy.
I mean, if we had really
How about
planned
this?
it out.
We'll do the Coast Guard. We'll do the Coast Guard and then the Navy to finish it up.
Because I have Coast Guard, Navy, and Army left, and I'm playing Army.
Did we not play I thought we played the Army.
No, she did the
Air
Marine
Force.
Corps, and then she did the Air Force.
I'm playing Army on the final segment.
Okay, so we'll do Navy and Coast Guard then. We'll start with Coast Guard, end with
Start
Navy.
with Coast Guard, end with Navy. Okay.
So then we're going to read the Air Force and then the Coast Guard to finish up the show.
You just said Coast Guard. Then
I'm talking about reading the.
He's talking about the stories.
Yeah, but shouldn't you do the story for the Coast Guard after this Coast Guard?
No.
It doesn't have to match
I can't
up.
talk to him. I can't talk to him today.
Doesn't have to match up.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Because they're trying to sell gasoline. He goes, well, how are we going to count the gas for 3? He goes, I know how to count gas. I can't talk to him. Talk to him. I can't do this.
I've seen it.
What on video?
One other quick question.
My guy, yes.
You're not going to do Mr. Know-It-All, are you?
No, let's not do Mr. Know-It-All, even though I like it.
Just for today.
Just for today.
Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Coast Guard, Mike.
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
They
won
get
the
a
Medal
bad,
of Honor, too.
They get a bad rap.
They helped rescue people
Yes.
after Sully landed the plane on the Hudson. They came and rescued people.
Oh, that's true, too, yeah. You ever see the movie Sully? I watched it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The Answer.
We hope you're enjoying this Memorial Day weekend. And in honor of Memorial Day, we've been reading Medal of Honor recipients. And we're reading it from each branch. The first one was Marine Corps. Then we did the Navy SEALs, which, Navy
The
SEALs.
one that the gentleman who received it yesterday from President Trump.
Yes. And then we just read, what was the last one we just read was Mary
Was
Walker.
the only woman who has
won
has the Medal of Honor,
Army
awarded the medal
in the Civil War. Now we're going to read a George Davis Jr., U.S. Air Force, Major of the U.S. Air Force, 1952. He won it during the Korean War. He's part of the 4th Fighter Group, 334th Fighter Squadron, 5th Air Force. Major Davis distinguished himself by conspicuous gallantry and somebody help me.
Intrepidity.
At the risk of his life above and beyond beyond the call of duty. While leading a flight of 4 F-86 Sabre jets on a combat aerial patrol mission near the Manchurian border, Major Davis's element leader ran out of oxygen and was forced to retire from the flight with his wingman accompanying him. Major Davis and the remaining F-86s continued the mission and sighted a formation of approximately 12 enemy MiG-15 aircraft, speeding southward towards an area where friendly fighter bombers were conducting low-level operations against the communist lines of communications. With selfless disregard for numerical superiority of the enemy, Major Davis positioned his 2 aircraft, then dove at the MiG formation. While speeding through the formation from the rear, he singled out the MiG-15 and destroyed it with a concentrated burst of fire. Although he's now under continuous fire from the enemy fighters to his rear, Major Davis sustained his attack. He fired another MiG-15, which, bursting into smoke and flames, went into a vertical dive. Rather than maintain a superior speed and evade the enemy fire being concentrated on him, he elected to reduce his speed and sought out still a 3rd MiG-15. During his latest attack, his aircraft sustained a direct hit, went out of control, then crashed into a mountain 30 miles south of the Yalu River. Major Davis's bold attack completely disrupted the enemy formation, permitting the friendly fighter bombers to successfully complete their interdiction mission. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Major Davis, by his indomitable fighting spirit, heroic aggressiveness, and superb courage in engaging the enemy against formidable odds, exemplified valor at its highest. That's what this day is about, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, all these stories are amazing. I have on my Facebook page today. I shared a story about the Black Hawk, the fastest airplane. You ever heard that story about the guy?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
when they're flying,
yes,
and the little Cessna says, "How fast am I going?" 90 miles.
Because he's trying to.
And everybody goes up, and then the Navy pilot says, "Oh, how fast am I going?" "Oh, you're going 600."
And then the guy's, because he's flying the Blackbird, and he goes, "Okay,
yeah, but
how fast am I going?" And the guy goes, "Oh my,
1,900." He said, "I think we're closer to 2,000."
And then the whole line of communication stops.
He said it was very quiet after that.
Everybody's
Great
upping
story.
each other.
Great story. Yes, I've read it before, but I never heard the guy say it. Because I've read that story, but today I've shared the guy doing the story himself, so it was very good. Military is they don't get the right recognition, I think.
Thank you so much for all those that have served in our military. I know that's Veterans Day. We thank those who have served and are still serving. Memorial Day is about those who have died in battle. It's about to take a reflection. We're able to sit back, relax, and enjoy our day because those who have given their lives let us have it. It's quite amazing.
It is amazing
where we are at today.
I think too much of our government uses our military as a experimental grounds, and we should not. We should treat them with the respect that they deserve, give them the tools that they need, and the training they deserve, and because again you have to be prepared. And I think right now sometimes we read that our military is not prepared, and we should really concentrate on making sure that they have the tools that they need to do the terrible job that we've asked them to do. So and I wanted to, because we talk about Trump now with Korea, and I don't know if you've been following the story, right? That in Korea that he's called off the summit. Sometimes I have to shake my head because I'm never been a big trumpeteer, but sometimes I think
you're a big trumpeteer.
No,
you go back on YouTube, watch every video.
My kids will say that too. I love what he's done. I love some of the things he does. And some of this whole thing I think is he's playing this he's just amazing to me what's unfolding. And the same people who objected are now, when he started the summit, are now objecting that he's not going to have the summit. And they'll object when they put it back on because they'll get it again. It's just another negotiating tool. So
that's right.
Anyway,
I hope that answers your question.
I hope that answers your question.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this show isn't content-driven today, but we'll be back with more content next week. We just wanted to give a day for those who have fallen. Remember, open tax resolutions, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. We hope you're enjoying this Memorial Day weekend, sitting back, enjoying the weather. Hopefully it's not raining because we record Friday or Sunday. And stay tuned because more IRS Radio Hour is coming your way here on AM 560, The Answer. I do like how this.
Of course, when I grew up in the '60s, it was very much World War II focused. All the shows were from World War II. All the movies were from World War II.
U.S. Coast Guard. Oh,
what's that?
I was like, U.S. Coast Guard's never won, and I was like, oh.
Have they though? You found one? Yes.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how.
There are those that will be angry with me because we said that there was only one woman with the Medal of Honor, but it's the truth.
Okay.
You're always afraid to step in it.
I'm not afraid to step in.
I'm not afraid to step in. I step in it all the time.
Did you know there's only one Coast Guard as well?
No, I did not know that.
I'll read about him.
Okay. Is it a good story?
It's not that long, so we can do it.
Okay, good. Let's do it.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560, The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
That's for all you Army personnel members out there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour here on AM 560.
The answer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are looking for the answer to their tax problems, this show is not about it. This show's about reflection. I know we're running out of time.
This particular show,
but we'll be back next week with more content-driven material. I wanted to finish up with the Medal of Honor readings.
We'll do that
from the U.S. Coast Guard. Douglas Munro, 1942, the only Coast Guard member to win it. He was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Ooh. We even gave the Canadians.
Extraordinary heroism and conspicuous gallantry and above and beyond the call of duty as petty officer in charge of a group of 24 Higgins boats engaged in the evacuation of battalion Marines trapped by the enemy Japanese forces at Point Cruz, Guadalcanal on September 27, 1942. After making preliminary plans for the evacuation of nearly 500 beleaguered Marines, Munro, under constant strafing by enemy machine guns on the island and at great risk of his life, daringly led 5 of his small craft towards the shore. As he closed the beach, he signaled the others to land, and then in order to draw the enemy's fire and protect the heavily loaded boats, he valiantly placed his craft with its 2 small guns as a shield between the beachhead and the Japanese. When the perilous task of evacuation was nearly completed, Munro was instantly killed by enemy fire, but his crew, 2 of whom were wounded, carried on until the last boat had loaded and cleared the beach. By his outstanding leadership and expert planning and dauntless devotion to duty, he and his courageous comrades undoubtedly saved the lives of many who otherwise would have perished. He gallantly gave his life for his country.
Wow.
That's the U.S. Coast Guard. So we read every member of every branch of the military.
Reminds me, It's a Wonderful
hit every branch.
Yes, It's a Wonderful Life. When he says, because your life touches. They all died. They all died on that aircraft. No, my brother was there to save them. Here's a man that, without him, all these men die. But he was
George
there.
wasn't there to save him.
That's right. But he was there to save those men, and all the stories that accumulate after this because they lived.
We forgot. We did forget about the reserve forces and the Army Air Corps because it's not really
the Air Corps was the Air Force.
But
well, I wanted to talk a little bit about that because the new one that's coming up is the Space Force that they're trying to. They think that it should be I'm serious, to be a separate branch of the military, because there's so much going up in space now and it's going to be militarized. you're going to need a force. Who should it be? Should it be the Air Force? Should it be the Army? Should it be who is it craft like the Navy?
That'd be cool.
So, but they're going to have but that's very because you're going to have to start taking down satellites.
Sign up for.
You're going to have to start taking down satellites in war. Because you can't let them have the communication, and that's their communication, and protecting our own satellites. So somebody's got to be up there protecting them. Okay, just a thought.
That'd be wild.
It is wild.
It's a wild thought.
If you're having a wild time on Memorial Day with your family, eat a hot dog.
Enjoy.
I say that because I'm the hot dog guy. I'm also the tax man. Okay. I'm the ID 312-664-6649. Again, that number is 312-664-6649. I want to wish you and your family a safe and healthy Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy the weather, enjoy your family, enjoy and never forget.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Open Tax Resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your help. Don't fight the IRS. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, same bat time, same bat channel every Sunday at 5 on that station we know and love. But before I say that, we hope you are having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Remember those who have fallen. Go to the medalofhonor.com to read more about the Medal of Honor recipients. And come on back here on AM 560, The Answer. We hope you enjoyed our show, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, more content-driven material is going to be coming your way next week.
And this was content, but it was historical content.
It was reflective content.
We do
so that we can see where we come.
This is our 4th time we did this.
And we'll do it again next year.
That's right.
What are we going to do for the 4th of July?
Well, right now for the 4th of July, we're going to talk about it after I turn off the
That's right. You guys can't see
we're
that.
Going to keep you surprised.
Yeah. Surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, like, share, subscribe, enjoy, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, your kids, your kids' teachers. Spread the word of the IRS Radio Hour here on AM 560, The Answer.